Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you guys are at watching this video. Today with me, I have a very special guest, a good friend, Sandeep Kumar, the founder and CEO of ROI Mites, a Google ad agency that focuses and specializes in search advertisements. I know that you do a really good job at it. I've seen some of the results that you've shown me. It blows my mind. Partly
Thank
also
you.
because
Yeah.
I have no experience with Google Ads and Google Shopping ads, and I hope that you'll be able to give us some insights into this very fascinating channel that a lot of e-commerce businesses are just not really focusing on at the moment. So with that, let's go straight into
Thank you very much,
this.
Joshua. Thank you very much for inviting me for this very productive discussion. And
Of
yeah,
course.
let's jump to it. Yeah, of course. Hello.
We're back. No worries. Connection is going to be pretty shaky for this video, but that's okay. I think
Yeah,
everyone's at home. Bandwidth is kind of stretched out across a lot of households. So this
exactly.
is, yeah,
That is
all is good. As long as you're able to teach us what you know in an effective way, we're all good. So let's
yeah.
let's get started. I think we all want to know your background, what you've been able to achieve, and all the good stuff. So I guess we have some
Sure.
slides prepared here.
Sure, Joshua. So again, thank you very much for having this opportunity and
Yeah.
giving about to us. Like as you have mentioned, we run a e-com marketing agency based out of India, and we specialize in the e-commerce PPC ads because you mentioned it right. Like a lot of brands, they are doing very well on the Facebook, email, and other channels, but they are not utilizing the power of the Google, which is Google search ads, Google shopping ads, YouTube, most powerful search engine and the display. So from the last 2 years, we have worked with multiple brands and help them to scale even double their revenues with Google. And we do it with our special Google Ads framework that we are going to discuss in this video of ours. And we have seen like right now at this like this pandemic, we are doing more than 1 million a month for our clients with the Google and at an amazing ROS, like more than 5x ROS. So we are pretty happy with the results our clients are getting. They are happy with the results, and the things are working very, very well with the Google. So that is something that we encouraging more, and we have seen the trend actually. A lot of businesses are now looking to invest in Google PPC. Recent moves from Google side, like they made the Google Shopping free. In the USA, you can put your feed in the merchant, and they give you a chance to get to show your ads as free. So these some incentives help a lot of e-commerce businesses to put their attention on Google. But as you know, Google is a bit complex than Facebook. Actually, it is not complex, but the thing that you don't try or you don't work with, they always seems complex.
Yeah.
So
And that's why we're
I
here.
would, yes, that's why we hire exactly. So I will try
Yeah.
to give it as simple as it to make it possible for your audience to understand the power of Google and how they can adapt it in their businesses so that even they can try it with themselves. So by the like end of this video, I want to get them some information, some knowledge, some value, so that they go and they try the Google and they see the remarkable results returns they can have from their stores. Okay, so having a brief
Sounds
about
good.
me, yeah, we have worked like generated over 2 millions in the last 12 months for our clients and helped over 200 e-commerce brands so far in the last 12 months and 2 years. So we have managed like more than 5 million US dollars only the Google ads. We are certified partners with both Google and Facebook on an e-commerce marketing agency. And as you know, we participate, share a lot of value, a lot of information, insights about our PPC campaigns, about the stories, insights, how you can trick them in the ad leaks on various Facebook groups, and sometimes we get featured in the Stack Marketer, which is the highest one e-marketing newsletter for the marketers. So help our clients to grow 6, 7, 8 figures. We are working with some brands who are like spending very well across all channels. Like some are spending even $1 million a month on the channels.
Gotcha. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So you mentioned 5x ROAS is the typical
Yeah.
ROAS you see with Google.
Yeah, that is in this since this lockdown stuff came in, like since mid of March, or I would say starting of the March, we have seen a trend that the CPC of the Google search and even shopping has got down, and the returns have started increasing. Like we had seen done before, or they started from scratch. They did a very big jump. They started small, like they started with 5K, 7K, but after a month we like put 20K, 30K in them with Google, and we have seen the amazing ROS for them.
Gotcha. So what you're saying is that the returns on Google search ads are typically higher than a typical Facebook ad? Because from my understanding, very limited, again, it's typically 2x or 3x ROAS. That's a typical return on ad spend for Facebook ads. But with Google, you see a much higher one than that?
Yeah, I cannot say it is always the case for every brand or for every product, because it totally depends from product to product, niche to niche, and brand to brand. In some cases, yes, the ROS is very good, but not always. That is something, you know, again, you have to put up, you have to invest, you have to go to the channel, you have to put up some money, you have to get data, and after that data, you can analyze that. But yes, scalability, if we talk, it is more come to the scaling. It is always a big challenge to maintain your ROS and scaling that. But in case of Google, we know the actual scope of scaling. Like there is a term, impression share, which means how much data, how much advertisement you are getting. So if your product is profitable, you are getting 5x ROS, and you are just acquiring 50% of impression share. That means if you increase your budget, if you optimize your campaign, you can go and acquire that next 50%. And with like minimum fluctuation in your ROS. So these type of insights and metrics which are available in AdWords, they make it easy for us to predict the scaling of the store and the revenues from there. But yes, it totally again depends on the product to product and niche to niche, what type of product and niche they are. I cannot say this is better or this is better. We have seen the stores which are doing very well on the Facebook, but they doesn't work on Google, and also the vice versa.
Gotcha. Okay, so I guess it all depends on the nature of the product as well.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Got it. Now let's move on to the next slide, where you're going to be sharing some pretty interesting case studies with us, to say the least. So I think I've kind of seen this before. Yeah. Tell me about this.
Mentioned, like we spent 100K and got like 800K with 8x ROX, and this is the consistent return over a 12 months for a single product website. This is for a single product website, and I cannot. It's like in the auto niche. I cannot go more specific, but industry specific. It is in that niche, and we have seen this kind of results for them with Google. And next, I have added the screenshot also. If you go to the next slide, yep. So you can see that we have spent approx 100K here and generated approx 900K, and you can see the ROS 7.91. So
that's insane.
This is basically the framework that we will discuss: Google search ads, shopping ads, display, and the YouTube. So we utilized all those channels, and with the help of them, we were able to achieve this type of results. So then the next slide. Yep.
And I guess just to comment on this, for someone who's brand new to Google Ads, this can come off as really really confusing and very overwhelming at first sight. but obviously you
Uh-huh.
see some of the familiar terms there: CTR, average CPC, cost conversions, cost per
Absolutely.
conversion.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me give you a quick go through them. So clicks, that means the traffic
Yeah.
you get to your website, impressions, the number of times your ads been visible on the Google, and the CTR, again, the impression by clicks, how much is the CTR? Average CPC is how much you have paid for a single user to come to your website. This is the cost, the total cost you have paid for the different campaigns, and this is the conversion, which is the sale actually. So how many sales you have done, cost per conversion, how much it cost you for a single conversion. Like in this campaign it cost us less than $9, here less than $9, here like it is less than even $2. It was actually a brand campaign. Here this is like
Mm.
11 $12. So you can see, and the conversion rate, what is the conversion rate? So only if you see, only this campaign is the brand one, the one where we have 4,000 conversions. But if you see other campaigns
That
which are
one.
not
Okay.
brand, they are still, doing very well. They have generated a lot of revenue, and the conversion rate of them 5.63, 3.71, which is a very good conversion rate. Because the difference between Google and Facebook is, see, it's the intention of the audience. When you advertise on Facebook, you are basically advertising for a attention grabbing. You want
Right.
you grab attention, you make sales. Here, users are already aware about their problem. They are finding the solution. They are looking for the best product. So now here our job is to available that product to them. We have to make sure the people who are looking for such type of intention, we show them what they are looking for, and then that amazing stuff happens. And the next is the conversion value. So you can see the conversion value, how much you generated actually, how much you have sold. So this is
Mhm.
like 884,000 is something that we have sold. And this is the conversion value cost, which is your ROS. This is like you can see 7.12 for some campaigns,
Right
5.9,
there. Okay.
7.3. So, yeah, so it is like 8x ROS we have done
That's
for some of the
amazing.
campaigns. Yeah.
That's incredible. You're gonna kind of break
And the
down for a beginner what the process is gonna look like generally in kind of thinking about thinking about Google Ads, because a lot of people are
I
coming
will,
in with Facebook
yes,
knowledge, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
I will, that is in the next slide, where I have
Awesome.
that kind of, that framework,
Yep.
which I will be explaining how it will work. And the
Sure.
screenshot here is not to brag ourselves, or is not to, show that we are very amazing or we do this stuff. It is actually to boost and to show the potential of the channel.
Yeah.
It
The
is there, and we
possibility,
have,
of course.
exactly, because we face this question again and again. How are you going to ensure that Google is going to work? We don't know, but if we try and we test it out, we have seen that out of 10, we have seen it working 8 times. So
Okay.
it worth a go and test it out.
Right.
So again, yeah, this is like again another client where we have them to increase the 61% increase in their revenue with Google Ads. If you can go
Hmm.
to the next slide, please. So this is the analytics screenshot, and you can see the time frame here from Jan, like in the last 4 months, actually 5 months, and we already had increased the revenues by 61% by managing their Google Ads campaign. Then
Wow.
the next slide, if you go to
Wow.
that,
It's awesome.
yeah. So like again, this is another campaign. This is not that client. This is a different client, and we did like 300K in 30 days. Again, at more than 7x ROS with them.
That's
So
incredible.
again, the screenshot is attached to claim that. And here is the complete. If you go to the next funnel, which you asked for, like
Yep. This is
how
gonna
it's
be
going to
fun.
work. So I'm actually excited about this funnel strategy because there are two reasons, Josh. A lot of people advertise on Google. In my experience, I have seen that people are doing a lot of stuff on the Google. They are investing a lot of money. People,
Yep.
some brands even do more than 1 million on Google. But what they lack
Hmm.
is they lack a proper framework. They lack a proper ad strategy, which should be there. So I will try to cover it. I have not disclosed it fully all parts, but we will discuss the main search and shopping search part of the PPC campaigns here. So
Okay.
if you can move to the next
Sure.
slide, please. Yeah, thank you. So here, this is the basically framework of a PPC campaign. So in this framework, you can see I have mentioned search ads, shopping ads, display ads, and YouTube ads. So these are the four different channels or verticals where you can advertise your products, your store, and you can get the traffic and the revenues from there. Here, today we will not discuss YouTube, shopping, and display, but we are going to discuss about the search ads, which will be focus of our conversation because search ads play a very important role. Search means when
Yeah,
someone
on
looking
this
for the
arm.
Google, yeah, yeah. Search means like when someone searching on the Google, not on YouTube, not on the display site, but when they are looking on the Google and we show them our products. So this
Hmm.
is very important to understand that you, what type of customer it is, in what customer journey they are. So the fundamental of the Google ads of search ads is the knowing your customer journey. You have to
Mm.
understand, are they in the hot audience or the warm audience or the cold audience? That's why I have divided them into the three categories: hot campaigns, warm campaigns, and the cold campaigns. Then further, we have explained the hot campaigns, how what type of hot campaigns they will be, the warm campaigns, what type of warm campaigns will be, and the cold campaigns. And here, let me
Okay.
give you a brief about the other strategies too, which are the Google Shopping ads. Again, like I mentioned,
Hmm.
Google Shopping ads.
This stuff.
These are the very, very profitable ads that you advertise, and the traffic cost of Google Shopping ads is less than the Google search ads. It is very
Mm.
important that
Okay.
you understand the difference between search and the shopping ads. Search ads is like when you see the text ads on the Google, right? The first four ads and the last three ads, they are the search ads. The CPC of those ads are high because you have more control there. You can make a bid to come on the top. You know exactly for which keyword you have to come on, and you have a lot of control there. You can exactly bid for specific keyword for specific search term, which is very very highly profitable for you. That's why they are expensive and everyone is bidding on them. Google Shopping, in Google Shopping ads, if you have an inventory of 100 products or 1000 products or single product, you have to make a Google Shopping feed and you have to use that in the Google Merchant Center. And from Merchant Center, you have to integrate that with your Google Ads account. And from there, you Google automatically pick the search terms according to your product title, descriptions. Here, the importance of your product title description is very, very important, that they are very relevant and you do, and the like the brands should have done a complete keyword research before, once when they like write the product title and description, they should have done the keyword research, and then they include those keywords into the product title and description, which is also helpful for the SEO part. And then proper category of assignment for those products using the proper custom labels. There's a lot of other stuff which you can do. So in Google Shopping, Google automatically picks the search terms. You don't have control of adding the keywords there, but you can add the negative terms. So the type of keywords which you don't want to show your ad, you can add them. Here is a quick hack that I would love to throw for the Google Shopping ads.
Gotcha.
When you set up the Google Shopping campaign,
Yep.
do a thorough complete research for all of the products you want to advertise, and then out of those, and use Google Keyword Planner, which is a free tool available in
Yep.
the Google Ads, and then in that actually show you thousands of keywords. Out of those 1,000 keywords, find all keywords which are not relevant to your business and add them as negatives. That will stop you to invest. That will stop you thousands of dollars. That will
Is
save you basically thousands of dollars
is that a
because
part
they
of competitor research as well?
no, that is not the part of competitors. It's just a part of when you optimize your account.
Yeah.
Competitors is something that before like launching of the campaign, you see what type of ads they are running, what offers, what discounts, what keywords, what type of landing page are they doing. So
Right.
this is something that you do when you set up the campaigns.
I see. Okay. Gotcha.
Cool.
And a campaign structure. Now, this is really interesting. Before you dive
Yeah.
into this,
Mhm.
could you tell us what what a Google campaign is exactly, and try to dumb it
Mhm.
down as much as possible for someone who's like brand new in it.
Okay, okay, yeah, of course. So,
Yep.
for someone like who doesn't know what is Google advertising, basically
Yep.
you can get traffic from Google in multiple ways. Google, when we say search campaign, that means Google basically offer you to advertise on the four different types, like we have mentioned in our last slide. You can select campaign type search, you can select a shopping campaign, you can select a display campaign, and you can select a YouTube campaign. So once you go to it, when you create a new account and you go and create a new campaign like we do in Facebook. So Facebook asks us for different type of campaigns. Will it be for lead gen? Will it be for boosting? Will it be for the reach? Will it be for the conversion? The same way Google also asks us for the same, like what type of campaigns you want to create. You want a smart shopping campaign, smart campaign, search campaign, display campaign, like what is your objective? So if we go for e-commerce, our objective is sales. So
Yep.
when it comes to the sales, they ask us to further select which specific campaign you want to create. You want shopping campaign or you want a search campaign. The difference between shopping and search, like I mentioned, search campaign, you cannot show the product image, price, reviews. Shopping campaign is like when you type someone, like for example, you type on Google, buy Nike shoes. You will see the ads from the Amazon and other channels with the Nike shoes color. The images will be there, price will be there, rating will be there. That is the shopping campaign results. And
Yep.
at the bottom, maybe just below those, or inside, you will see the text ads also from Amazon or from some other individual stores who are selling the Nike shoes. So those are the text ads, those are the search ads. That's why you can, and the beauty of Google is you can advertise both search and shopping at the same time. So if your product is like buy earphones, earplugs, and you want to acquire the maximum real estate of Google, and then you can show that your ad in the Google search and Google shopping both at the same time.
Gotcha. That's interesting. All right, let's
I
get
I
straight
I,
into
I
the.
hope I hope it helps to give you some clarity.
Yeah, that helps, and I kind of want to break it down a little bit more down the road, but you're gonna cover it already, I guess, in your presentation here. But yeah, I'll kind of shoot you questions along the way.
Yes,
But
yes, you
over
can.
here,
Yeah, you can. Mhm.
this this is this is interesting. This is a massive kind of roadmap. I
Mm,
believe that this is going to be really, really interesting and very valuable for anyone who's trying to get things started on their own.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but tell us, kind of give us a breakdown on what exactly this is.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, of course. This is basically the framework that for a successful and for a very well organized structured campaign. Structure is very important for the Google
Mhm.
PPC campaign. So if your
Right.
structure is very clean, neat, and it's well maintained, then your performance is
Yep.
going. You will have a good performance, because a lot of the time people put the keywords which conflict with them. They don't use the right bidding, they don't use the right campaign, and they don't use the right structure, which end up not working for them, and they say this thing didn't work with us because they didn't have the right structure. So that's why it is very, very important that you have the right structure, and I tried my best to explain that structure here. So here, this is the structure for the Google search ads. The same structure will be there for the shopping ads also. So we will discuss today about the search ads. That's why I have only covered the search ad structure here. Like I have mentioned, first of all, you have to find out your audience, hot, warm, and cold. Now, this is very interesting. How are you going to find out your hot, warm, and cold audience? That is the main thing. And what is hot audience? What is warm audience? What is cold audience? Hot audience is someone like who have already done their research. They know what they are looking for, and they know where they are going to get it. In case of Facebook, the hot audience is something like which has come to website, they have put something add to cart or initiated checkout, but they didn't buy. Like, yes, that is hot audience. But in case of Facebook, in case of Google, hot audience is not only the visitors which have been to your website, but also the traffic which still is not aware about you. They are looking for the best offer. Maybe you have the best price than your competitors, you have the best offer than your competitors, you have the best reviews, you provide fast shipping, your product is genuine, your product is good from them. So any advantage that you have from your competitors and that help you to sell to your customers without thinking a second thought is come to your hot audience. So that is how you have to segregate your, when you do the keyword research, keyword, like every traffic we get on Google comes from the keyword. People search
Right.
on Google for the keywords, then we show our ad and they go to the website. In case of Facebook, they see the ad and they come to the website. Like we target them with interest or behaviors, or lookalike stuff. In that case, the traffic comes from the interest and lookalike. In Google case, it comes from the keywords, search term, people who are searching. So it is very important that each single keyword that you put in your campaign, you classify them. You segment them in the hot audience, warm audience, and cold audience, and that's how you are going to make a profitable account. Because let's say you have a budget of $10,000 that you want to
Mhm.
spend. So don't spend $10,000 on warm and cold audience. The first objective of your account should be using those $10,000 on the hot audience and making sure that you acquire 100% impression share for that hot audience keywords. So for example, if you have like 100 hot keywords and you have $10,000 budget and you are acquiring only 50% of the impression share, which means you still have room to scale your account. That means it is because the hot traffic is going to convert fast. That is the best chance for
Right.
you to get the conversion.
So
Okay?
if I let me rephrase this, if just to see if I understood this, you start by maximizing what you can with your hot audience first. Once that's depleted, you move on to the warm audience, and then once that's depleted, you move on to cold audience.
Exactly. And that is
Okay.
something because in this approach, what is going to happen? You are not going to lose your ROI. You are not going. So it's like sending your best, forces to the battle, sending your best candidates to the battle. Because
Right.
if your best candidates are not going to win, there is no way like your average or the knaves are going to win, right?
That makes sense. So that's similar. That's similar to what we know from Facebook ads. Like start with the bottom of funnel ads, and then you gradually build it out to a broad one. Yeah.
In Facebook, there is one thing like from the bottom of the funnel, you have to put money in the cold of the top of the funnel in the cold campaigns. Your cold campaigns they create engage the audience, they make you cold audience. You have to like put 80% in the cold or 70% in the cold, 20% in the warm, and 10% in the hot campaigns. But
right, you have no choice.
It is different. Yeah, it is different. In this case, you have to put like maximum 100% to your hot campaigns. Then if you left and you have used all the available space from the hot, go to the warm. And if you have done everything with the warm, then go to the cold.
I like that. Let me reiterate that. So for Google, the difference for Google is that you can and you should spend 100% of your budget on your hot audience first to maximize what you can before you move on to the next stage. But with Facebook ads, you kind of have to distribute it accordingly from bottom of funnel to middle funnel to top of funnel.
Because in Facebook you cannot have bottom of funnel if you don't have the top of the funnel.
Got it. Okay, so that's the case for in most cases. I guess there are some exceptions, but in most cases that's the situation.
Exactly. So in cases, the thing is it gets interesting when there is no hot traffic. When there is no hot traffic or the people very actively looking for products, when they have done their research, when they are just in the buying stage. For example, you have to buy a Mac Airbook. Okay, so what are you going to do? Either you buy it from the Apple or you type on the Google Mac Airbook. You know the product, you know the brand, you know it's going to get warranty. You have already experienced it. What are you looking right now is the best deal. So you will see the shopping ad there. Anyone who is like giving you 10, 20 bucks benefit, that is a no-brainer for you. You're going to buy that. All the warranty and everything is coming from the Apple. You don't have to worry about the price.
Yeah.
So that is the advantage for some of the brands they have, and they miss that when they are not advertising on Google. And that is something which we call the hot audience.
Makes sense. And I think you covered this part already, but Maybe give us
Exactly.
kind of a quick recap on what the strategy is going to be like for each stage. Kind of a brief one before we dive into it each.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. So like this hot campaigns, warm campaigns, and cold campaigns, again, that is if we see the framework, if you can go back to the framework.
Sure.
Yeah, so here, if like I have mentioned, the three type of audiences, and based on these audiences, you have to create the campaigns. Now, campaigns can be there can be multiple campaigns for each audience.
Yep.
The first campaign is like the retargeting campaign, which is RLSA.
That one.
Now, on Google, there are two type of retargeting you can do. One is the RLSA. RLSA is something someone came to your website, they didn't make a purchase. Now they are looking for the same product or the different type of product, and they are searching it on Google. Now you can retarget them with a search ad. That is the RLSA. That means okay, this visitor was on our website and they are looking for the same product now. So there is a chance we can sell them with a better offer. So there you can put your discount, you can bid, or maybe last time your bid was low and your competitor, they didn't spend much time. Now you can bid high and you can position yourself on the top of the Google, and you can grab their attention and you can get that sale. So that is a very, very type of campaign, very, very important campaigns like RLSA. These are not actually, it totally depends on how much traffic do you have on your store. Because if you have like 10,000 visitors per month on your store, and out of 10,000 only 1,000 people searches with the same keywords, so you just have an audience of 1,000 people there.
Okay, so it still depends on the search volume as well.
Yes.
Okay.
It's totally the search volume, and this is something you have to set up in your Google Ads account. There is an option of audiences in there. So once you go there, AdWords automatically creates the audience. But if you interlink your analytics and Google Ads together, then there you get more options like all website visitors or similar audience or lookalike audience, which is actually great. Yeah.
What does RLSA stand for?
RLSA stands for the remarketing list for search audience, like remarketing list for search audience.
Got it. Okay.
And then the second type of remarketing is the dynamic remarketing, which is for the display network, like where you see the ads of the relevant product on the mobile apps or the display websites across the internet. So that type of remarketing is also very helpful, but you have to exclude the mobile apps from there. That is the quick tip.
Gotcha. I see.
Yeah. So this is the RLSA campaign. Then this is the high intent audience campaign. This is the campaigns, actually not campaign, but campaigns. So these campaigns will be for the different category. For example, if you have the 5 categories on your store and you sell shoes, you sell caps, you sell jeans, right?
Right. Product categories. Okay.
Yeah. Different categories. So every category, because every product can have the different type of audience. It is important to understand. When I say the hot, cold, and warm, it doesn't mean the different audience for the different product. It means the same product, but the different people for that same product. So that means we have to advertise the same product for the different audiences.
Right.
So if
gotcha.
I have category 1, I will find all hot audience for the category 1. Category 2, all hot audience for the category 2. Category 3 and 4, 5, and same stuff. If I get like 20 keywords which are hot in the category 1, then I have the product types into the category. I have like one category jeans, and I have the 5 type of jeans into it. So then I can create the product groups based on the jeans. So you have to make it very granular on the search, on the campaigns. Like I mentioned, your structure should be very good. If your structure is clear, you will not have a problem of handling and managing it and scaling it further.
Right, that makes sense. So you can get pretty in depth with kind of going into each not just product category, but breaking down the category into each product type as well.
Exactly. Okay. So for product type, now we have the product type. For the product type, you have done the research. You have found the keyword. Now on Google, you can type you can use a keyword in 4 different match types. What is the match type? For example, if I use a keyword by shoes, and I use it in the broad match, then Google is going to show my ad for someone who's typing only shoes, which is not a relevant keyword, right? If I use
Right.
the if I use that in the phrase match, like they provide broad match, broad modifier, phrase, and exact match. So broad is something like something related to your keyword, even if your keyword is not into that search term. Broad modifier is the mentioned keyword should be in the search term. If I use buy shoes and I put a plus buy plus shoes, that means any search query which is using buy and shoes into it will be eligible to show my ads. For example,
Right.
uh, buy shoes from the best retailer. Yeah, buy shoes from Amazon. That I have not using the Amazon, but still I will
Mm-hmm.
be able to show to show my ad. And exact match is something when you show your ad for the exact term. Buy shoes, that means it is only for the buy shoes. It will not show for the buy shoes online or buy shoes, best buy shoes, something like that. And phrase match is when your the search term and the keyword that you have used buy shoes, which it should be in the search term, like online buy shoes, best buy shoes, something like that.
Got it. Okay. So you got a couple of options when it comes to match,
Yes,
like
that
keyword
now it is.
matching.
Yeah, it is very important that you have to use the right keyword match. So if your keywords has a good search volume, then go for
Mm-hmm.
the exact match. If your keywords doesn't have a good search volume, then go for the broad modifier match type. If your keyword has like good search volume, then this is the setup you should follow. Set up them in the exact match, the same
I'm
keywords
gonna bring you to
in
this
one ad
slide because
group.
I think it gives us a good example of what that talks about.
Exactly. So yeah, here like we have the running shoes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So broad match this is the broad match type. We don't have we actually I have not used the phrases here, but this is the type of the audience. How to identify your audience? The one we were discussing. How are you
Right.
going to qualify your audience, right? So
Right.
like
These are
if someone
cold,
is
I suppose.
exactly.
Okay.
So if someone is searching like for running pants, because they don't know, we don't know what type of shoes they are looking for, which brand they are looking for, what is their budget, what is their exact
Yeah.
requirement. So this is a cold audience. They are still in the awareness stage because they have to find out. Then they will maybe go with a different brand, different prices. They will take some time, and they are not going to just buy from shoes, which means we know, okay, this running shoes, and they are going to buy the black running shoes, which means they already have made up their mind. They only need the black running shoes. So this is a much better qualified audience than the running shoes. And if someone type Nike running shoes, so we exactly, and I'm selling the Nike shoes, so I'm going to use this keyword as my buying intent audience because they are looking for the best price and the best shoes from Nike. Make sense?
Right. Gotcha. I lost you there for a little bit, but let me just rephrase from
Mm-hmm.
my point of view, just so that I understand. Um,
Uh-huh.
People searching for running shoes are this group of audience. They're kind of still shopping around. They haven't made up their mind yet. They're in awareness stage that they know that they
Exactly.
need a running shoe. They don't know what type of running shoe. That's when you use
Yeah.
a broad match type. And then
Yeah.
for people searching specifically for black running shoes, they know for a fact that they want black colored running shoes, um, and they've kind of made a somewhat of a decision on that part, and they are kind of considering making a decision already to buy. That's where um, we use a phrase match type, and
Yeah.
then
If
if
mhm.
and if I'm searching directly for Nike running shoes, that's when you know that I have a strong intent to buy specifically Nike running shoes. That's when I have a high buyer's intent. Then that's when the brand can start using a exact match type or a phrase match type.
Exactly. So here is one thing, like they can even use the broad match modifier here.
Uh,
like with every these are audience intent. Match type is something you can test out based on the data, based on the returns. What type of returns are you getting? What type of conversions? What type of data is you are getting? But the most important thing is to understand the intention of your audience. With running shoes, we know this is a cold audience. They don't know. They have not met me. We have some ideas that they are in the consideration stage. This can be our warm audience. This audience is looking for something they know. And the Nike running shoes is our buying intention audience. They already know about the Nike. They know about the shoes, so they can go and buy. So match type is something you can use match, phrase, exact, or broad modifier. I say like in AdWords, never one thing works. You have to test out the different strategies, different bid types to and different match types to check which one works. If you are getting like traffic with the phrase match, but it's not converting, I would recommend to go with the broad modifier. And if you are using the broad modifier that is not converting, then go for the exact or phrase. And if you have the traffic from the phrase and exact and that is converting, then also you should try the broad modifier to scale it up further.
Gotcha.
Make sense?
That makes sense. That's interesting. So, Sandeep, you're gonna share with us the video of you describing how exactly you do your keyword research and how people can kind of get started with theirs.
Exactly. In that video, I'll exactly explain how we do the keyword research in our agency, how we identify them, the hot, warm, and cold, and how you can do that, and how you can build your list, and you can then use them in your campaigns. So this is again the hot campaigns like we discussed in our framework, where we have the hot traffic campaigns and RLSA campaigns. So this is like where you advertise your USP for such traffic. Okay. This is the same. Yeah. And the warm campaigns, again, you have to identify as per your categories, you have to identify the keywords, and those keywords you have to use as warm campaigns. Now, here is one interesting thing that I would like to add. Send traffic related to listicles and reviews that are informative on advertorial page. If you can go back to the framework, Josh, slide 12.
Right here?
Yeah, here. So here I was discussing about the high intent audience. So we have mentioned how are we going to set up the campaigns for category 1. We have to identify the product types, and then we have to do the ad grouping for each product type. And we can use exact match, phrase match, and broad modifier match type of ad groups. Now, with the phrase match and the broad match modifier ad group, make sure if you are using the different match types, put them into the different ad groups. Don't use them into the same ad group, because otherwise it's going to conflict. And when you use them into the different ad groups, make sure that you have put the negative keywords of the different match type in the ad group that you are. For example, like you are using the phrase match keyword, which means you have to put the exact match keywords as negative into the phrase match, because it will be the same keyword, but into the 3 different match types.
Okay, so exact same keywords, but into the 3 different match types.
Yes, if you are not going to use if we are not going to use the negative here, then it's going to conflict. The objective of using different match type here is to identify which match type is going to work, because as it is our hot audience, we don't want to miss any traffic from here.
Makes sense.
And then you can add like 5 to 7 high end keywords here with high bid, and 3 extended ads and the 2 responsive ads for each of the ad group. And you have to repeat the same process for all of your product types and all of your categories to create a very well and organized campaign.
Gotcha.
Now, with hot campaign, you don't have to send your traffic anywhere else. You are going to just send the traffic direct to your product pages from the ads. With the warm campaigns, here is a bit difference in the strategy. And this is the reason we were able to generate 800K with 100K ad spend for the store that I was explaining earlier in this video. In this warm audience, which is like consideration intent audience, you have two options. Like you can test out two type of strategies. Either
Right.
send them directly to your website, which is like the example of the keyword we were in, which is like black running shoes.
Mm-hmm.
So black running shoes is our consideration keyword. If we send the traffic direct to our product, it is possible that people are not going to buy that, or maybe they are not going to show much interest. But if we are going to send the same keyword to an advertorial page where we have mentioned the top 10 black running shoes
Right.
or top 5 most high demandable black running shoes, five
Right.
black running shoes which are selling like crazy, yeah, or
Mm.
5 black running shoes which are going out of stock,
Yeah.
2020 black running shoes. So this is something which will create an awareness and make curiosity for the users, give them information and take them a step further to their decision.
Right.
We have given a story there, we have given them a reason, a purpose there, and from there that can be a listicle page on the website itself. It can be a landing page, and if it's possible, get that page on some third party website which is very well renowned, if someone can get that. If not, put it in our website, and from there link every product with your respective product so that they can go and buy. Even if they are
Mm.
not going to buy it directly, then still that audience get into your remarketing list. You can remarket them,
Right here.
and you can retarget them with your display ads, YouTube ads, and the RLSC campaign. So
Gotcha. Right
any
there.
keywords like the keywords, yeah, like the keywords review, comparison, information, all of these type of keywords you can use
Here.
with your advertorial campaigns here. Exactly. So
Got it.
this is the way, like you don't have to if someone search Mac Airbook review, they are not going to buy the Mac Airbook, right? They are looking for the reviews, but based on the reviews they are going to buy. So if we can provide them all a page with the
Information.
review and
Yeah.
then information and then the link of the product, absolutely you're going to make a sale. But if we use the keyword and send them to our product, that's not going to work.
Right.
That's directly impact your money that you are spending on that.
That makes sense. And you mentioned this, before running, we talked about kind of depleting the impression share for hot audience first, and then moving on
Yes.
to warm campaigns. What
Yes.
exactly is that go signal? Is there how do you know when you've utilized 100% of your impression share?
So
Or
that is
does
that
it
is the
show?
that is a metric which is available in the Google Ads
Okay.
interface. Yeah, when you go to the Google Ad interface and you use their columns, so it is available there. And
Yeah.
when you click that, you can see that by campaign type, product and keyword type, and ad group type. So you will exactly know for which keyword how much impression share I have used or how much I can use. And then Google also tell you how much bid you need to increase to use more impression share, which is
Got
like
it.
very handy when it comes to that.
That's interesting.
Yeah, Google is, like I mentioned, it's a bit complex for the newcomers specifically, but once you start
Right.
working and interacting on it, there's a lot of data and you actually get in love with it.
I like that. And tell me about your avatar strategy workflow. I think this is something new to me.
Uh-huh.
I've seen this done with Facebook, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure whether it's, and it has a strong impact on the performance on emails as well, and what we do with our email funnels.
Mm-hmm.
But tell me more about what it looks like with Google search.
Yeah, so basically the idea behind is the same. The idea is basically understanding the customer journey, your audience buying journey, at what
Right.
stage they are. Are they in the, like I mentioned this again and again, are they in the buying stage or the consideration stage or the awareness stage? So you have to provide the right type of information to them so that they know, and we know actually what type of stage they are, and we can help them to take to the next step. For example, advertorial strategy, if you're just searching for best crate boxes in UK, and
Mhm.
if we send them to our landing page, to our product page, they are not looking, that is not about the best crate boxes in UK, that is about our product. So users are going to click and land because sometimes some users don't know what they are clicking on. And maybe because most of the traffic comes from a mobile device, and it's a lot of ads in the 3/4 fold, and usually, it's take a long to scroll to the organic and go. There was a recent history, a research in which it was disclosed that a lot of users, I believe 60 to 70% users don't understand the difference between the organic and the paid ads. So they go and they click on the ads. So some go for the information and you end up paying for that information. So it's important that when it comes to the informative, you provide the informative content like the advertorial post. And from the advertorial post, it can be reviews, comparison, information, how to what, and there make sure you have you placed your product properly. And the content of the advertorial page is very important. You have to pursue, you have to make sure it's genuine so that they trust you. The objective here is selling the product for sure, but it is also building a trust. You build a trust with your customer when you provide them additional information. So they could, from there, it is easy for them to make a decision. And from the advertorial page, then it comes to your product page, and you can give a special discount, something like if you, for our customers or readers, we are offering 10%, 15% discount, here is the code. So that is the extra thing that you can put to make more sales from the advertorial.
Right, like an incentive. Makes sense. So this works really well for cold campaigns, right?
Yeah, cold and warm campaigns. It works very well.
Cold and warm, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Tell me what's going on here.
So this is the most common type of cold campaigns. Cold campaigns like where your audience is not, aware about they know problem, but they're not aware about the solution, or they don't know what is the next step. They are in the research phase. They are searching for the solutions. So these are the 1 or 2 keywords and very broad keywords. This is something when you have to scale your campaigns, or you don't have any audience. You just want to, you don't have your users doesn't know about your product. They don't know such type of solutions available. Like in some markets, some industries, there are some products which users are not aware. Customers are not aware, but they are aware about the broad stuff. So in that campaigns, you can use how to, what, why keywords with 1 word or 2 words, so that every time, and the thing here with the cold campaign, the cost of the CPC is less, because these keywords people are not bidding on these keywords. These are very broad keywords. But the quality of the traffic is not good here. Your bounce rate will be like 90% and plus.
Okay. Yeah. Right. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So for example, like 1031 property, we had a client who had a 1031 property business in the Google Ads. So property is a broad stuff. So they didn't have much. Broad. They didn't have much search volume on the 1031 property. So what we did is we went with the property, which is a very broad, but we also put a lot of negatives, which we know never going to convert. And then with that property also, we were able to generate some conversions from there. Yeah, those were not that efficient, but still we managed to get some conversions.
Negative keywords. Tell me what negative keywords are.
Yeah, that's very good question actually. Negative keyword is the type of search terms or keywords which you want users, when users search, your ad doesn't appear on Google. So if someone search free or free guide how to, you don't want to show your ads for free type of keywords. So you put them into the negative so that Google know I don't have to show ads if a user has a term free in its query, and you don't end up paying money for that. So that is the save money. Yeah, that is the save money from your ad daily budget.
I see. So the ad will not be delivered to people who search on your negative keywords, even if your match is on the broad, even if there's a keyword match on the main keyword.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Got it. That's awesome. And now, I guess this is the nitty-gritty stuff. How do you optimize your ad account with Google? I think there is an optimized way. It's easy for us to kind of get stuck in the weeds of things. There's so many things to consider. It's just like email. Yeah, there's so many types of emails, so many types of automations that you can build. It's very easy for you to kind of get caught up with that complexity of it all and not focus on what's core important. So tell me what's important when thinking about optimizing your ad account.
Yeah, you have mentioned it. You like like you said, it's very nitty gritty stuff, and
Yeah.
you should be very, you should know how to read data. That is very important when you optimize. Data reading is very important. What I mean by data reading is you don't go on your assumptions. There is uh, a very good quote, or a very good statement, that assumptions are like assets. Everyone has one, but for marketers it's data, and you have to go on the data. So when we talk about the data, you have done your with your setup, and now you have started getting some clicks, some traffic, some conversions. So there are different variables and different stuff available that you can optimize for. For example, keywords match type. Like I mentioned earlier, we have 3 to 4 type of keywords match type available in Google Ads. If we are running our campaign with with exact match, and that is not converting, which means we can optimize it for the phrase match. If phrase is not working, we can optimize it for the broad modifier match type. So we can change the match type if one is not working. Second is the bidding strategy. Now, Google provides a lot of different bidding strategies. You can go with manual bidding, you can go with the automatic bidding, you can go with the CPA bidding, you can go with the smart bidding, enhanced CPA bidding. So you can test out the different bidding strategies, which one works. For the new accounts, I recommend to go with the manual CPC bids with the enhanced option available. Like make enhanced eCPC, which is called, because at that level you have the control of the keyword bid. If one keyword is getting a lot of traffic but it's not converting, you can bid that keyword low and you can put money to the another keyword. But if you go with the automatic bids, you will lose that control. You will not be able to control the bid on that keyword. So that's why I recommend to go with the manual enhanced CPC for the new campaigns until you get some conversions. Like Google recommend to have at least 30 conversions in the last 15 days before you go for any automated bids.
Got it. Okay.
And yeah, so CTR is something like the click-through rate from your keywords to your ads. So which means if you are getting 100 impressions and only one click, which is like 1% CTR, that means your ad is not relevant to your users. So either you have to improvise your keyword or your ad copy. And getting high CTR, like CTR of more than 5%, will help you to get the low CPC as well. The better the CTR is, the better the CPC will be. Now,
Gotcha.
bounce
Makes
rate,
sense.
yeah, bounce rate. It is very important, bounce rate, which is like you have sent 100 visitors to your website. How many of them has stayed and how many of them has bounced back? So any bounce rate which is more than like 80% or 85%, I consider that traffic is not quality. And the traffic stores which has a bounce rate of 40, 50, 60% are the very good quality stores and traffic. Like there, the conversion rate is also very good there of the e-commerce stores.
Got it.
So if the bounce rate is not good, you can again optimize your keyword, your bid, your ad copy. So you will have the further options to optimize there. And quality score optimization. Now it is very interesting actually. Google provide quality score from 1 to 10. 10 means highest, 1 means lowest. If your quality score is 10, then you are going to pay the least amount of money for every click that you will generate from Google. But if your quality score is less than 6 or 5, then you are going to pay more for every single click than you deserve. Yeah, something like Facebook. They also provide the ad quality. So the better the ad quality, you will pay less. The worse the ad quality, you will pay more.
Interesting.
So you can optimize your quality score by keyword, CTR, landing page optimization, ad extensions. Ad extension. So ad extension is like type of information or links which you can show with your ads, with your search text ads. So when we show we can put 3 headlines and 2 lines of descriptions in the search ads. Along with that, we can put the call outs like special discounts, special offers, or anything which we want to say, something special about our store, like free shipping, shipping in 24 hours, like 900 reviews, 5-star rating, hassle-free returns. Such type of things can be done in the call outs, which will stand out the ad. And then the site link extension, we are selling the shoes, and we have the black, white, red, and green type of shoes. So we can mention all those tools in the site link extension. So Google provide 8 to 9 type of different site links, ad extension options, which you can use to advertise with your products. And these are very, very helpful to get to give additional information with your ad and to get more real estate data with your campaigns. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. So again, the bids optimization, like we discussed the bidding strategy. Bid optimization is if you are bidding something for any keyword and that's not converting, then you can bid that down. And if that is working, you can bid that high again to get the high amount of impression share on that. So you can bid like 10, 20%, 50%, 60% more on that, or you can reduce that based on the optimization. So these are basically the different optimizations you can do at different variables which you can optimize to turn your performance on. And the real game is actually having to know which thing has to be optimized. Is it device? Like for device, if you are getting the traffic from tablet and desktop and mobile, and tablet traffic is not converting, you can simply optimize it. Just simply exclude that traffic from your campaigns.
Right.
That will take you that money. Yeah. And the same with the location. You are targeting the United States, but out of that, 10 cities are not working. Just simply exclude them. And the time, some specific time, people are busy in the morning or they are busy in the evening. They are traveling. They don't have time, but they click and they don't have time to make a purchase. And you see that pattern in your account. You can again exclude that time, or you can put the low bids to that time.
That makes sense.
So these are the different optimization things that you can do on the account. Apart from them, there are other factors also which you can optimize. But like I said, it is more about the data reading. If you can read your data, you understand better and what to optimize and where need to be optimization done.
Got it. And I guess that brings us to the next point that you're going to be making. With optimization, like you began this slide with saying it starts with data. It starts with reading data and understanding what the data is telling you. And even before that, it's about collecting that data and making sure that it's tracked properly. So
exactly.
Let's go straight into that tracking. This is the boring stuff that is super important. Take us through this.
So tracking is the backbone of any campaign, be it Facebook, be it Google, be it email, be it anything. If a marketer is a marketer, it is because of the tracking. The only beauty of digital marketing is because we can track everything we can advertise. So we cannot miss that. And Google provides us a lot of options to track that data that we send the traffic from Google, like conversion tracking code. So this is the first step. It is to make sure we are feeding Google with the right information, that we are getting traffic and we are getting conversions. So if Google knows that I'm sending the traffic and that is converting, they will put more and more such type of users to your site, to your campaign. So if you are running campaign without the conversion, that means you are, you are running a car with a blindfolded actually. So it's very important that you have the conversion tracking code implemented, and it's very easy to implement. In case of Shopify stores, you can just simply go and put the code in the checkout option and it will be done.
Got it.
Then the Google Analytics e-commerce tracking enabled, and Google Analytics and Google AdWords. Analytics and AdWords works very, very well. Analytics doesn't work well with Facebook, but Analytics and AdWords work very well. And it is highly, highly recommended from all sides that you interlink Analytics and AdWords and you enable Analytics, because Analytics provide a lot of data which AdWords doesn't provide, and you can use Analytics to the next level to optimize your Google Ads account. For example, and when you enable the Analytics, make sure you enable e-commerce tracking into it, so that you know your products are selling, what's your conversion rate, what is your add to cart rate, how much is your product abandonment rate, all that funnel can be created in the Analytics. And in Analytics, like in AdWords, there is a limitation of creating the audiences, but in Analytics, there is no limitation. You can create audience like how much time they have spent, how much further they have spent on the page, how many pages they have visited, return visitors, and some specific actions they have took, like micro events. So you can create all that type of audience in the analytics, and then you can share all that audience with the Google Ads, and you can use that audience in your ads, which is a very good point, very good feature actually.
Gotcha.
Then is the Google Analytics goal setup for the micro goals like add to cart, initial checkout. So here is the thing. With Google AdWords conversion tracking, you don't get data like add to cart, initial checkout, like we get in the Facebook. But we can get that done with the Google Analytics. You can create the micro goals with add to cart, initial checkout, and then you can import those goals to AdWords, and you can optimize again your keywords, your product feeds, your search terms. Like you have 10 keywords, and you know, out of 10 keywords, 5 keywords are converting, but 5 are not converting. So you can see if they are not converting, are they getting any add to cart, are they getting any initial checkout, and it will provide you more data, and that will help you to take a decision, because it is again more about data. The more data you have, the better decisions you can make. And then the Google Tag Manager, it is a very handy tool. Google Tag Manager, with a single tag manager, you can implement all your tracking tools like Google Analytics, Facebook conversion tracking, Google AdWords conversion tracking, website analytics tool. So this is basically a very handy tool, Google Ads Manager, and you just need to implement one code in your website, and you don't have to change anything into the website. You can then make all the changes to Google Tag Manager.
That's awesome.
And yeah, website analytics, Hotjar, Instaclat. This is something I recommend to have implemented to see how your data, how your audience react or work or behave, at least for the initial few days, for initial data. It actually makes your site heavy. It actually increases the loading time also, but it is crucial for the initial days to understand the data.
Right.
Behavior.
Okay. Interesting. So you don't recommend Hotjar for the like lifetime of the store. Okay.
No, I don't recommend any of such website analytics, because any the more JavaScript code or any such applications you will put,
it slows down
the more load time.
It slows down the site, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So slow websites are the conversion killers. So
right.
even the 1 second kills a lot of conversion. So I highly recommend to just use them for the initial data, or when you want to test something. After that, disable them.
Gotcha. That's really good advice. And I think you have a little gift for everyone who's watching.
Yes, I do. So I have this Google Shopping Optimization Guide. So if you are already doing the Google Shopping ads, and you are running the Google Shopping campaigns, but you want to take them to the next level, this is the guide for you. Go and get it. And in this guide, we have mentioned the step-by-step things we do with our clients, and how we get an ROI of up to 10x. So
that's amazing.
This is actually not for the beginners. This guide is actually for someone who's already working on the Google Shopping ads, and they want to optimize or take them to the next level.
Like an advanced guide that's for people who are already doing it and they're trying to get to the next stage.
Because I have seen that Google Shopping is very simple. You have to fix your feed and you have to set it up with a merchant, but optimizing it and taking it to the next level is a different game in itself. And we have seen that a lot of brands struggle with that. A lot of e-commerce owners struggle with that. So to help them out, we have created these guides.
Right. And I guess not everyone is ready to take things to the next level by themselves. If they want to work with a professional like yourself and your team, how would they contact you?
So I have mentioned my details. If you just can, so you can contact me with email, Sandeep@ROI-Minds. I'm available on Skype. I'm available on WhatsApp. This is my Facebook. Me and Joshua will be there. And this is our website. So
that's
you can
awesome.
Reach me out any of the method here available.
That's awesome. Sandeep, thank you so much for your time and dropping some serious value. I think this is a topic that not a lot of people are really well versed in and covering. And obviously a lot of people are kind of talking about optimizing ad spend on Facebook and Instagram, but Google is still a very profitable channel and should not be underestimated. So thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you hopping on with me here and sharing your knowledge. I hope that it has been fun for you.
It's an advantage. Yeah,
that's awesome.
let's keep it going
Oh.
and let's crush it this year.
Absolutely, man. My pleasure. Absolutely, my pleasure. And I'm happy. So, any question or anything do you have, you can always email me. My email is mentioned. I would be happy to answer the question if there is any question from your audience side or from your side. And yeah, I highly appreciate I appreciate the time that you have given. And
Of course.
any question? Yeah, of course. So I also recommend the Google Ads for the e-com stores because they can be very profitable.
Gotcha. And that's a
Awesome.
wrap. Thank you so much, Sandeep. Appreciate it.